Gold and silver. It's ugly and there's more pain ahead. This was an article posted on Forbes 4 days ago, and some people are going to love this news. Some people are going to hate this news. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you will have a more optimistic look instead of looking at this from a negative perspective, because we are talking about silver prices potentially going even farther down the line, where some people are just tired of it. They want silver to explode so they can go buy their dream car and retire. Some others, though, take advantages of the dips. I mean, it is called buy the dips and sell the tops if you want to sell the tops, but you definitely want to buy the dips, lower your dollar per ounce average. But let's just see what they have to say, because this guy does take a very interesting angle. He brings in the charts, and I really do like this article. I think it's a great article, and I really do think we can all take something from this, including myself. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. I post silver videos every single day. So if you guys always want to be kept in the loop of what's happening, then I'm the channel for you. So here he goes on to say, I took a lesson from Orpheus and Lot's wife. When investing, never look back. Profits are in the future. As regular readers will recall, I called gold and silver all the way up and sold out near the top. It's all here on Forbes as well as my YouTube channel, so you can check the veracity of all those calls. In this fake world of predicting the past, I hope you will DYOR and review the record for yourself. DYOR is do your own research. So as such, I have not been keeping a close eye on gold or silver because that's yesterday's meal. However, people have been asking me about them, so I've taken a peek, and yikes, it looks ugly. Here's the chart of gold, mentioning not impossible, and he will show the chart of silver in a second. So you trade what you see, and until there's a pause in the decline, it's a classic bubble chart like this can fall a long way. That is, if this bubble is a chart, so is the call. Did something major change, and where is the new equilibrium? For me, I want to see several months of calm before calling a bottom. Unless we start seeing chariots of fire, gold is not going straight back up again, as it shouldn't. And the reason that we're in this position in the first place is because it did that exact thing so fast. It went up, 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 up. So then it's going to go down, 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 down. It needs to go up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little more. It needs to be a gradual approach. If not, it goes into extreme overbought territory, and then the correction is ugly. But we have still landed way higher than even the all-time highs as before. Last year, if you would tell someone that silver would be sitting at $64, you would be shocked. They would be freaking out. Silver's all the way up to 64. That's amazing. Everyone must be so joyous that silver's so high. But no. We got desensitized because, of course, it went up to 121 in January, and now we're looking at it from the negative light instead of the positive. But if you can step back and look outside of a 1 year mind frame, right, or a 1 year frame of mind from the market, you can still see that this is going up. It's not a gradual approach, and that's why he's also saying it should not go straight back up again. The approach upwards also should not be gradual. Also should not be straight up. It should be gradual if you want prices to stay up there. It needs to go, let's say it's 64 right now, it needs to go up to 70, then maybe 68, then 75, then 73. And we don't even need those types of little gaps. I mean, we could even talk a little higher. Let's say 64 up to 80, chills around there, 87, 86, 79, whatever. I mean, we see $5, $6 price swings all the time. So we can talk about that. And then we need to really focus on 100 again. And then we can sit around 100 for a couple months, whatever. Getting into the holidays at the end of the year, market's really bearish, everything's kind of calm. And then we can go into the new year, maybe 120, 115, whatever. And then we can start talking about new highs. But that's what would need to happen. And even that is pretty fast. I mean, we're talking about, it's about to be July. And if we want to see silver back up to 120s by early next year, that's still pretty fast, because that's basically what happened last year. Silver was still sitting around $30 this time last year. And look what happened in such a fast time frame. So I like to keep it Crayola simple. Unless something weird happens, $40 to $50 is the cinch. Silver remains the wild, retail-driven precious metal, and again, it will take a period of calm to define a bottom. That doesn't seem on the cards in the near future. So here's the gold and silver together. Stick a tail on a donkey. So it's looking like silver prices could keep falling a little more. So want to be bullish? Stare at the chart and imagine what a bullish scenario would look like. To me, it would look like a freakish chart. Conversely, a fall to 40 in silver and reconnect from there would look very normal indeed. Charts are not fate, but as trillions in liquidity heads into popping AI IPOs and a potential NASDAQ, a mad NASDAQ bubble, the hot money may drain away from assets such as Bitcoin and precious metals. Of course, that could create buying opportunities in the future, so we will just have to wait until the chart says, in no uncertain terms, that the trend is up. I'll be waiting until then. So, like I said, you might love this news, you might hate this news, but regardless of your opinion, should not matter, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to buy low, and if you want to sell, then sell high. Don't buy high, just hope it goes higher. That's gambling. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. We take the information and tweak the odds in our favor, and that is why gambling and investing is very, very different. Gamblers just throw money at the wall and hope that it sticks, with the odds highly against them. Investors take those odds and tweak it in our favor. We can see what silver is, why silver is valuable and where the amount of demand is coming in the future, production is coming in the future, what silver is used for, the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity and light sensitivity. And we can see how we're going in this new digital era with AI and all of this. And you can kind of piece together, okay, well, if low supply, high demand pushes the price up, and we can see production is dropping, but demand is booming, hundreds of millions of ounces in the red, and we're going to need more and more silver, but there's less and less of it. Of course, naturally, in the longer term, that will affect the price, especially since the price is held down. And if the price were fair, silver would be a lot higher, but that price being held down will also not be able to exist forever. So looking at it from a fundamental point of view, without comparing it to gold, without looking at it from the same perspective as gold, then you can kind of start to see the bigger picture and say, wow, this is an opportunity to get silver while it's extremely undervalued. Ironically, this is the same time that all of the biggest banks, the largest countries, and the biggest investors are all acquiring so much of it. China China bought, I think, 680 tons of silver in the month of March, which is like way, way higher than the norm. You have India doing what it does. You have Mexico doing what it does. You have China doing what it does. You have all the biggest players that are all acquiring so much, and not just gold, silver. Gold also just passed treasuries as the number one reserve asset for the first time in like 4 decades. That's also big news. Right? So you have all of this happening, but once again, like Andy Schectman says, price is the greatest tool of misdirection. People get misdirected by the price. They look at silver and say, oh, okay, it's not doing anything. Well, I might as well just avoid it. Well, that's actually the opposite. That's when you should get in. If you want to be a successful investor, do the opposite of what the normal person does. The normal person gets in with all the hype and they sell low. Or they will just get in while all the hype is there, right? They'll get in once everyone's talking about it. By then, it's too late. Most people will get into silver when it's way too late. We are not too late. This is not too late. You did not miss the boat. The boat hasn't even left. The boat's not even done being built. But when it is, we will be the ones sitting pretty. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. There might be more pain ahead, but hopefully you can turn that pain into gain. Like they say, more pain, more gain, or whatever. More pain, more gains. However you want to look at it. Silver has so much opportunity, and if you think that $70 is too much, if you think $121 is too much, then 1, you don't understand silver's true value, and more importantly, 2, you don't understand the dollar's true value. And once you understand those, that's when a true silver stacker is built, and you will look at these prices and be happy, joyous, free, because you can get something at a massive discount. Anyways, folks, my name is Silver Slayer. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment down below because I have a lot of stuff I'm going to be preparing for in the future, and hopefully you guys will be here to enjoy all of it. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.